Okay, welcome everyone to what Facebook ads can do for your business. I'm Jane, filling in for Mirko today. Mirko's had to rush off to a meeting, so more than happy to say hello to you all and lead you through what Facebook ads can do for your business. I hope that you'll find today interesting and useful, and thanks again everyone for attending. Can I just, before we get started, can everyone hear me okay? If you can hear me, can you please just raise your hand? You should have a little hand icon there. If you can't or you're having trouble, let's just have a look. Oh yeah, a couple of hands going up. Good. I never quite know if I'm speaking to anybody or if it's all just going out into the ether and no one can hear me. Great. Okay, so hands going up everywhere. That's really good. Everyone's hands going up. Tremendous. Well, welcome everyone. And let's get started. Okay. So I have muted you all. You should be automatically muted. Can you all just make sure that you've muted yourselves? There should be a little green microphone icon there and it should have a red line through it. And what that does is it just means that we don't get distracted by each other's background noise, which can be a bit distracting from time to time. Now, I'm more than happy to take questions as we go. Hopefully I'll be able to answer them during the presentation. If not, I promise I will get back to you this afternoon with your questions. So feel free to go to either the chat log or the questions panel, type your question where it says type question here or type message here, and just press send, and I will get a little notification that you've asked a question. And I'll try and answer it, as I said, as we go. But if I don't get to you, I will make sure that I do answer them this afternoon. Yeah, questions at any time. Now, also, just to let you know, I'm not sure if you're aware, if you haven't attended one of these before, but we do record these sessions, and the reason for that is we can then put them up on the Digital Ready website for people who weren't able to attend today, and also for you. If you happen to miss something or you want it recapped or you just want to listen to something again, so that's quite a good thing. You can just go back and view the recording of this presentation in your own time. When you've got a bit more time, maybe stop and start and try things out. So if everyone's if there's anyone that's not comfortable with it being recorded, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll assume that it's all okay. Obviously, we won't be recording you because you're not talking. You're only recording me. Okay. No. There we go. Otherwise that thing would just pop up the whole time, which is really annoying. Okay, so let's get started. So why use Facebook? Why do we use Facebook? Mostly for the volume. There is more than 1 trillion connections on Facebook. That means people connecting through each other's networks, friends of friends, ordinary friends, that sort of stuff. More than 1 trillion worldwide. There's more than 42 million pages. Average daily photo upload is 250 million. Some stats for you. More than 552 million daily active users. The average time spent per visit is 20 minutes. So Facebook is the kind of place that you go to hang out with your family and friends, you know, interested in seeing a business that you have, whatever, but it's great for conversations, great for engagement. So it's no longer word of mouth, it's now world of mouth. It's huge, it's enormous, and if you're not on Facebook already, it's probably a good idea to consider being there so that you connect with your fans and your likers. And in Australia, just bringing that down to a bit more of a local perspective, half the population of Australia is on Facebook. Now that includes babies, that includes children. I mean, not that babies are on Facebook, but the population of Australia is included in this. Half of Australia is on Facebook. That's an awful lot of people and a very big market. There's some stats here on the breakup, but what I wanted to show you was if you think about this here is about what, 2/3 of the Facebook population, and it's people between 18 and 44. So it's not just teenagers, it's not just kids, it is probably people who are your market. If you have a look at this spread of age here, 25 to 34, yes, 18 to 24, some young kids, but also 35 to 44. So a large proportion of it is people with, you know, disposable income who go on holiday, who like to book tours or accommodation or meals and eat out and all that kind of sort of stuff. So if you thought that Facebook was for the young kids, it's not anymore. It's actually kind of quite mainstream, and you can see like 16 to 17, 13 to 15 is actually quite small. So this may well be your market. Even kind of the 55 to 64s are on it, and they are growing very rapidly. So if you haven't thought about Facebook before, either advertising on it or having your own page, have a think about that, and think about who are your target audience and what kind of age group are they, and also are they female or male. You can see there's quite a big skew towards women rather than men, although still a substantial number of men on Facebook. So if you haven't thought about it before, or you're not advertising on Facebook but you do have a page, maybe have a look at the people that you're trying to reach with your advertising, or anything else that you do online, and consider Facebook, because it's probably who you're trying to reach. So whereabouts do Facebook ads appear? If we're not familiar with this, just bear with me a sec while I call up my control panel, because I can't see you anymore. There we are. Great. Yeah, so where do Facebook ads appear? Okay, well, obviously we've probably all seen them here on the right-hand side of the homepage. This is kind of a standard position for an ad, and you can see that there's an ad here with a beautiful picture and a headline and a little call to action here, a call to action message. Facebook ads will also appear here right in the news feed on your homepage, and this, of course, is where most people look. On a phone, they appear just in the news feed. There's no right-hand screen here, so obviously they're going to have a lot more impact. And if you are what's called a premium advertiser, i.e. if you spend a lot of money advertising on Facebook, you can also have the option for an ad to appear during the logout. Question? I'll just check. I've just got a question icon come up. Just bear with me a sec while I find out what that was. Screen's not showing. Can't view anything on computer, only hear you, not able to see what you're showing. If you can, okay, let's just fix that before I keep going. Oh, okay. Just bear with me a second, I'll fix that. I'll try and figure out what to do. Oh, there we are. Here we go. How is that? Can you see my screen now? If you can, please just raise your hands. Yep, okay, hands going up. Great, great, great. All right, sorry about that, guys. We love technology, especially when it works. I hope that's all okay for you now. Great. Okay, so let me just recap that. So obviously this on the right-hand side of the home page is where Facebook ads can appear, and you can see there's a heading and a little picture and a call to action. They also appear in the news feed, which is basically where most of the users' attention is focused on Facebook. They don't necessarily look here or here, but they definitely look here because this is where all the action is. So this is a good place to be, obviously. Similarly, on a mobile phone screen, there's no right-hand column here. It just appears straight in the news feed. So again, this can be very effective because there's nothing else to look at, basically, and it's just appearing in someone's news feed. And as I said, if you are what's called a premium advertiser, i.e. spend a lot of money on Facebook, you can have the option to also advertise when people log out from Facebook. Okay, and obviously why would we advertise on Facebook? Well, to grow our fans, to distribute our content, to get more engagement, to grow our check-ins, promote your business, and also for brand awareness. It's important to think about our goals when we're advertising on Facebook. Facebook, though, needs a strategy, okay? So while it's cheap and easy to advertise on Facebook, it's important, as it is with anything that you're doing in marketing, obviously, to have a bit of a plan, to know sit down and think, why am I doing this? What am I trying to achieve? The main thing with Facebook advertising is what we call engagement. Engagement is people doing something with your post, doing something with your brand, liking your post, commenting, sharing what you've put up there, responding to your ad, asking you questions, posting on your timeline, all those kind of things, rather than simply putting up an ad that is more of a banner, if you like, and fans can't really do anything with it except maybe click if they're interested. Facebook is such a great opportunity to have conversations with people and to raise engagement. And of course, if you've done any Facebook work with us or anywhere else before, the higher the engagement on your Facebook page, the longer your posts will last, okay? The higher what's called your edge rank, and the more people are doing things, the longer your posts will last. And the other thing about Facebook is what's called virality. Now, what we mean by virality, it's a way to get new fans. Your existing fans or your existing likers will do something with your post, share it, like it, comment on it, to their networks, who, if it's engaging enough, will share, comment, like to their networks, who will share, comment, like to their networks, to their networks, to their networks. And this is called virality because you actually don't have to do anything. Once you have put the ad or the video or the piece of content, whatever it is, up, the picture of a cat or whatever, it's up there, and then if it's engaging enough, your fans will then do all the work for you without you having to do anything else except maybe just keep an eye on it and check it's going where you want it to. So that's what we call virality. It's viral. Okay, you might have heard of something going viral. This is the kind of the ultimate goal in Facebook, is to put up stuff that is engaging enough or compelling enough for people to share it off their own bat with their networks, who then share it with their networks. And if you think about, if your page maybe has, I don't know, 100 fans, they might each have, I don't know, 100 fans. There you've reached 1,000 people without even trying. So this is the beauty of Facebook, is the network effects, if you like, of how quickly your message can get spread around. So how do we do that? Okay, so through content is the first thing. Create content that has value for your audience. Keyword here is value. Something that your audience is going to find valuable. It might be news, so it might be first with news, or it might be news about your company that they're interested in. Images that they find beautiful or aspirational, they want to share, they think, oh, I'd love to be there. It might be great videos that you put up on your Facebook. It might be a campaign that's really attractive, or a competition that they really want to win. So content that has value for your audience. So before you start either your whole Facebook strategy or your advertising campaign, sit down and think, what can I share that has value? What do I know about my audience? What are their interests? What are their key motivations? What are their pain points, if you like, that I might be able to alleviate? Think about who you're targeting, and start to think about what content you could create that has value for them. From here, it's also about generating fans, making use of offline touch points, your website, your online marketing, ads, fan virality, in order to get more fans, more likers on your page. And lastly, once you've got them, engagement. You engage them to interact, like, comment, share, click, participate, do something, don't just sit there. And of course, this thing is a whole circle. So obviously, at the end of the day, we want conversion. We want a booking. We want a sale. We want a restaurant booking, or an accommodation booking, or a tour booking, or a visit to a gallery, or whatever our business happens to be. We want a conversion. And content, if it's engaging enough and has value for your audience, will drive conversion, but it will come via engagement. So it's not all about a discounted offer, for example. It's about something that is going to really be of interest, which will then encourage people to engage with it, like comment, share, click, participate, and engage and then convert. So content should drive conversion. Conversion comes via engagement. Engagement comes from good content. So it's a circle, if you like, complete. So what we should be doing on Facebook is actively pursuing conversations and interactions with fans to build advocates for your brand. Don't forget to listen too. If you don't listen or respond accordingly, who's going to speak to you or like what you have to say? It's like a conversation. Obviously, if you think about conversations, no one wants to engage with someone who only talks about themselves. So it's not just about advertising, it's about engaging with your fans as well. So Facebook ads, how do they work? Firstly, define your goals. Now, defining your goals early up will determine what Facebook shows you when you're setting up the ad in terms of options. So it gives you a number of purposes or goals to define first. Do you want to advertise your Facebook page, for example? Is that why we're doing this? Alternatively, have you got an app that you want to advertise and get trial and usage and downloads of? Or do you want to let people know that it's been upgraded or whatever? Have you got an event happening? Have you got a show or a trade show or a festival or something? Excuse me, sorry. Or do you want to actually drive traffic to your website or another website. So sit down and think, what am I trying to achieve with this? Do I want to get more likers for my page? Do I want to advertise my app? Have I got an event I want to advertise, or do I want to drive traffic to my website? Because these 4 options will show you quite different options when you get to actually do your ad, choose your budget, choose your market, etc. in Facebook. The second thing to do is create an attractive ad. So again, before you start to get into the ad creator, think to yourself, what key information needs to be in here? What do I want people to do at the end of it? Call to action. Do I want them to book? Do I want them to click? Do I want them to take up an offer? Do I want them to find out more? Do I want them to visit my website? Write that down as your call to action and maybe word it 3 or 4 different ways and see which one's going to be more compelling. And of course, selecting an attractive image is really important, because it will catch the eye. What you want people to do is look at your ad, because they've come to Facebook to hang out with people, not necessarily to look at ads. And so if you have a really compelling image that's really clear and attractive and will stand out on the page, you've got much more chance of them looking at your ad. For example, here's a good ad for Ray's Pizza, a bad ad for Ray's Pizza. So this one, you've got a good, strong, good quality image, easy to see in such a small space. Remember, you haven't got very much space here, so the image is really important. You've got a very clear ad text, 2-for-1 deal on takeout pizza. Okay, people know what it is. Call to action, order here to claim this offer. Easy peasy. And also by linking to Ray's Pizza Facebook page, users can see if their friends have liked it. So this is an ad for Ray's Pizza Facebook page, and someone called David Nguyen, who's a friend of the person looking at the ad, has already liked the page. So that will also offer a more compelling reason for the friend of David to click through to Ray's Pizza, because, hey, he likes David and he respects his opinion and he knows him, and if David likes this page, it must be worth looking at, therefore I'll click on the ad. I know it's sounding a bit long-winded, but you get the idea. People like things their friends like, especially people that they like or respect. As an example of a bad ad, what could be improved here? You notice that the image is not very compelling and it's also quite blurred. It's not very clear and it's not really a great image. So they could have improved the image. Contrast this one with this one. It's quite a weak statement here. You are limited here in how many words and characters you can use. So you don't. It's like Twitter. You don't want to waste any space. So make sure that every word you choose is going to work hard. Lots of choice of pizza available at Ray's Pizza. It's not very compelling, as opposed to 2-for-1 deal on takeout pizza. This is a lot more compelling and it's a lot clearer. And then menus for all your needs. So I can't see a call to action here. The reader won't be sure what you want them to do. Okay, whereas the order here to claim this offer is very, very clear, or like our page to claim this offer, you know, whatever your call to action is going to be. Here, there's nothing, you're not telling them what to do, and it's really important online in everything you do. Tell your readers what to do. You'd be amazed how much more successful you'll be. I know it sounds like a really obvious thing to say, but we still see a lot of ads that don't tell people what to do, and they're not very effective because, yeah. So the image is poor quality and hard to read. The ad text doesn't give you a special offer and there's no call to action. So when you are creating your ad, have a great image, think really clearly what you're going to put here in your ad wording, and write down, as I said, your call to action. Maybe write down 2 or 3 or 4 and see which one you think is going to be the more compelling. You can always experiment with different ones on different ads as well. Excuse my voice today. I'm sorry, I'm croaky today. Once you've defined your goals and created your ad, this is probably the most important step that you can take. Focus on your target market and group. And in a minute, I'll give you a live demo. Facebook gives you an opportunity to narrow down your target market to very, very, very small groups. And you might think, well, that's a waste of time. But actually, it's not, because it's all about targeting. And the more targeted your ad can be, the more it speaks to a group of people, the more effective it will be. And you will likely be much more successful targeting a group of, I don't know, 100 people with a very strong message that is going to speak directly to them, as opposed to targeting a group of 2,000 or 3,000 people and having to weaken your message because it's not a very defined market, and so it needs to be a much weaker message, a much broader message. I hope you kind of get this, and I'll recap it as we go through, and you can see why. But some of the options for targeting in Facebook are location. So you can get that right down to city in most places, so not just country and state, but also city. Their work, what kind of work they do, what education level they have. So if you're just looking for people who maybe left school at 15 or, you know, are working as hairdressers or something like that, or alternatively you might be after people who have an undergraduate degree or a master's degree, depending on who you're trying to target. Facebook will let you do that. Age, so that's kind of a no-brainer. You can target people by specific age, by gender, male or female. You can target people having a birthday. You can target whether they're in a relationship. I don't know if you've ever done this, but it's a bit of a standing joke in my classes that whenever somebody shifts their status from being in a relationship to engaged, they immediately get lots of wedding ads in their news feed and lots of weight loss ads as well. So, or you know, if they change their relationship status from married to separated or something like that, again, ads will shift in their feed. And this is because you can closely target people by status as well. You can target them by their likes and their interests. You can target friends of fans, and you can target your existing fans, people that already like your page. Coming back to originally what are we trying to do? We're trying to get more likers, then we wouldn't target our fans, obviously. But if you take nothing else away from this webinar, take away that targeting small groups, several campaigns. You can always run more than one campaign at a time, but the more targeted you can make it, narrow it right down, the more effective your messaging is going to be and your advertising, because you're going to be speaking directly to a small group of people who all think the same. Okay. For example, I might target people in Australia, which currently gives me 11, and Facebook tells you how many people you're likely to get when you start to narrow down your market. So I might have ticked Australia, and it says 11,700 odd, 11,700,000 odd. Then I might narrow it down to Queensland, which gives me a smaller group, 2 million, 2.5 million roughly. And then I might narrow it down to Brisbane, which gives me 1.5 million people. And then I might target by, so this is location, okay, Australia, Queensland, so I'm targeting people in Brisbane, and Facebook says, okay, there's 1.5 million people in Brisbane, and then I say, okay, now I want to just target women in Brisbane, and Facebook says immediately, okay, there's 798,000 women, and I want to target women who are engaged in Brisbane, so I might be after a wedding market or something. Okay, so Facebook will say, rightio, well that's 12,600 people who like the Sunshine Coast, 720, and you can see that doesn't look like a very big market, but look at how targeted it is. People, women in Brisbane who are engaged, who like the Sunshine Coast. That's going to be a very strong message and a very effective message, because I've narrowed that down to these 720 women, and I'm going to be reaching them directly. So rather than having 11 million people odd, or nearly 12 million people, I know that would be great to reach those people, but they're not all women, they're not all engaged, and they're not necessarily all interested in the Sunshine Coast. So I'm going to be missing a lot of them, and they're not going to be looking, they're not going to respond. So why spend your money on them? Spend it on this group that has a much higher chance of engaging with your campaign. And as I said, you can run multiple campaigns, so you don't have to restrict it to just 720 people overall. You can restrict it to this 720 people, you know, this group here, and then you might have another 1,000 people in a different set of criteria, locations, marital status, interests, whatever. So, yep, targeting. And then Facebook asks you to define your budget, and this is where you would start to decide how much you wanted to spend, both on a daily basis and also as you're going. And you can decide in Facebook now, there's this terminology here, CPC versus CPM. CPC is short for cost per click. CPM is short for cost per mil. CPC, cost per click, you would only pay when someone actually clicks on the ad. CPM, cost per mil, you would pay when your ad is shown. So probably this will be cost you more, but not necessarily, because as you select each of these, Facebook will give you an estimated cost per click or per page impression, so you can get an idea of what you'd be expected to pay. And whether or not you choose CPC or CPM, it kind of depends, comes back to your objectives. What am I trying to achieve here? Am I just trying to get a straight click-through to an offer? So have I just got a 2-for-1 offer or something, in which case it might be CPC? Or am I just looking to raise awareness, to get reach, to get frequency, to get lots of people to look at my ad, in which case you might go for a CPM if you just want, you know, eyeballs and don't care if people click or not. So again, these are all the things to think about before you start your campaign. Am I going to go for click-throughs and pay only for click-throughs, or am I going for more of a broader reach, a wider reach, and going for CPM model? You can set your daily budget and you can set your bid price as well. So let's have a look at that. So this is what some of the Facebook ad, if you haven't seen it before, interface looks like. Choose your account currency. It gives you the options. Obviously we choose Australian because we want to pay in Australian dollars, and where your country is and the time zone. I think it only gives you Sydney, but you know, we can live with that. It's not like it's, you know, LA or something. And so you would put in your campaign name here, and here is where you would nominate how much you're prepared to spend per day. So Facebook will never spend more than you nominate, a bit like Google AdWords. So you will never, e.g., spend $12 or $100 a day. If you nominate $10 a day, once that $10 is reached, your ads will just stop showing. But you will never spend more than what you have nominated for that budget per day. Yeah, there's campaign schedule here, and you can decide whether you just want to run your campaign continuously starting today, and here you can nominate when you want your ad to start and when you want it to finish and which days you want it to start on. So I don't know, if you've got a very short time frame for your ad and you just want to run your ads maybe 2 days before and throw a lot at it because maybe you've got some stress inventory or attendances are down or something, you might decide just to run it like mad for 2 days before, just between, I don't know, 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. when people are home looking at their, or maybe on the bus on daily commute or something, so it's not a very good example. Maybe 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. after dinner when people are home, maybe on Facebook looking at something. So you can nominate if you want it to run over a couple of weeks or just a couple of days, you want a very intense campaign, and also what time of day. And if you think people are going to be looking at Facebook between, say, 8 and 10 at night, then run it then. If you think it needs to run all day, then run it then. And again, it comes down to what do I know about my audience and what can my insights tell me. Now, if you have either Google Analytics or Facebook Insights or both, have a look at that and see what information you can glean from your visitation. When are people looking? What's the best day? And what is the best time to run my campaign. Alternatively, if you're not sure and you don't have access to any information, you could perhaps just spend a little bit of your budget testing that, different days and times and different lengths of time. Don't spend all your budget, but spend a little bit and just see what's working best for you. See if you can spot any trends. Have a look at the reports you get after your campaign and see, you know, if there's one time that works over another, and then spend the rest of your budget then. Okay, so yeah. You can optimize for clicks and optimize for impressions. So this person has chosen optimize for clicks, which is the CPC. You'll be charged every time someone clicks on your ad or sponsored story, CPC, and this is what Facebook recommends that you'll be charged. They've given a suggested bid here between 57 cents and $1.30 AUD. This is what it's likely to be. Okay, and from there you can work out for your $10 a day how many clicks you're likely to get. Is that enough? Again, you can do some maths and figure out, is that okay? Do I need to increase my daily budget? Is that going to give me enough clicks? So you can sort of say 79 cents into $10 a day is going to give me this number of clicks. Do I think that's enough for the number of people I'm targeting? Do I need more? In which case you might need to increase this. Again though, you could just spend a little bit, a couple of days testing this, maybe spend $10 or $20 or $30, see how it goes, adjust it in real time. The beauty of all these kind of online ads, Facebook, AdWords, etc., is that you can adjust things on the fly. You don't have to wait for a campaign to finish or a print run to finish or whatever. You can have a look at how it's going, see if it's working. If it's not working, pull it down or do something with it, change your ad, put more money on it, you know, change the times you're open, that sort of stuff. So you're never stuck, basically. So have a look while your campaign's running and, yeah, just optimize as you go. One of the things to consider here too is, do you want to be bothering advertising when you're not around? So if you're advertising for, e.g. accommodation bookings and your desk is only open until 10 o'clock at night, obviously you don't want to be advertising at 2 in the morning in case you've gone for an international audience. So you can also, you know, only show your ads when you're open, for example, or when you're able to answer the phone or that sort of stuff. So all very useful. And of course, as I've just been saying, step 5, monitor and optimise. So as your campaign is running, you will get reports. You can just log into your admin panel and it will give you reports, and have a look at the data. How is the target group that I've had responding? Are they clicking through? Is the ad running at the right time? Is it the right time for me to be showing it? Do I think there might be another time that might be better? Should I change my call to action? Is my ad compelling enough? All those kind of questions to be asked if you're not getting the response that you expect. Alternatively, if you're getting an overwhelming response and it's working really well, perhaps you could think about either continuing with what you're doing, or you may not need to anymore because you may have achieved your objectives. So as I've said, monitor and optimise as you go. Don't wait till the end of the campaign only. You know, put it out there, see how it's going after a couple of hours or a couple of days, depending on the size of your market, and optimise all of the things, change all the things that you can to try and make it better. Make your money work harder for you. Okay, so this is an example of personalisation of ads. It's actually, this is just a summary, but you might have seen yourself on Facebook. Facebook will show you an ad. This is what some of the early people saw me clicking, because I just wanted to show you this and find a good example for you. Oh, question, just hang on a tick. If you have achieved what you want, do you still pay the full amount? Not that I'm aware of. You should just be able to close off your campaign, and because it's a daily budget, yeah, so you should just be able to like cancel your campaign and it should be fine. But let me double check that with Mirko and I will email you, Julia, because he is the man who knows all about Facebook. Okay, so this is personalisation of ads. So as I said, if you were early, you might have seen me fiddling about with my screen because I wanted to show you. I was looking at my own timeline for another feed. If an ad appears in someone's news feed and I'm not interested in wealth events, I probably should be, but right now I'm busy and I'm not. So I clicked on this X here and I got an option, hide this ad, hide all from Life Mastery Club. Now if I'd clicked hide this ad, it would have asked me why and given me some options like this ad is spam, I'm not interested in this. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Why do you hide them? It's uninteresting, it's misleading, it's sexist, it's against my views, it's offensive, it's repetitive, other. So Facebook will give you a series of options, and obviously what you don't want as an advertiser is for this to appear, because it's firstly it's wasting, if you've chosen a CPM model, it's wasting your ad impressions, and secondly there's no point in targeting people who aren't interested in you, and you certainly don't want to be reported for spam. Yeah, this is a bit old, but it will also give you the option to say it's spammy, which obviously you don't want. So coming back to targeting and personalisation, as I've said, be very careful selecting your target audience so that you're not wasting your ads on people who are likely to say, I don't want to see these type of ads, and choose one of these options here, because you're wasting your money, you're wasting your effort. So excuse me a sec, another question. You're welcome. No problem. Okay, so yes, coming back to targeting, we don't want to be showing our ads to people who are not interested enough, and we certainly don't want them to be filling in things that say it's spammy, I've seen it before, it's not interesting. Make sure when you go back to the targeting part that you have really thought about who you are targeting, and monitor it as you go to make sure that you are targeting those people and you're not getting any of these kind of things happening. If you are, maybe you need to change the market that you're targeting, or change your ad, or change your offer. The beauty of Facebook, as I always say, is that you can target and change everything on the fly as you go. Okay. So a little bit on sponsored stories here. I think they're called suggested posts in the actual news feed now, just to confuse you. Facebook changes all the time. They change their terminology, they change their rules, it's everything, which as tutors does our heading because we have to get on top of it all. But the reason why I'm telling you this is when you see it in a news feed, it will probably be called suggested post or suggested page. But when you actually buy it or set it up in Facebook advertising, it will be called a sponsored story, just to confuse you. So don't be confused by the two. It's the same thing. Okay, and what it is remember I showed you early on that ads can appear here, straight ads, or they can appear here in the news feed. And the thing with these is that a sponsored story carries an element of what we call social proof. For example, when 80% of consumers say they're more likely to try new things based on a suggestion by a friend in social media. When someone interacts with your page by liking it or commenting on a post, a story is created. So what you can do in Facebook when you're setting up your ad, you can choose the option to make it a sponsored story, and then when someone does something with your page, it will come up like this. Priya Gupta likes Jasper's market status, like this page. Now this is actually an ad, okay? Page post, like sponsor story. I think it's now called suggested post up here. But this is actually an advertisement. It's not a message from Priya Gupta to her group of friends. It is actually an ad, and what they've done is they have set up the option to have a sponsored story when they've been setting up their Facebook ads, and rather than just having a straight ad, offer buy now and no endorsement, you can see that there is a kind of an endorsement here because Priya Gupta is a friend of mine, and gosh, if she likes Jasper Market Status, I'd better have a look at it too and like the page, because I think a lot of Priya Gupta, she's a good mate, I value her opinion, etc. So it's a very powerful way of making your ads more effective. As we said in the survey, 80% of consumers say they're more likely to try new things based on a suggestion by a friend in social media. The other part of that is a recent Nielsen survey that said something like 85 to 90% of people trust ratings, reviews, things they hear online. Only about 14% of the people surveyed trust straight advertising messages. So it's a no-brainer, really, to go for a sponsored story based on people's likes. So you can sponsor these stories to show them to the friends of your fans. Here's another one. This is sponsored. You and Jeff Gillies like Tropical North Queensland. Here's a post from Tropical North Queensland. Will win the ultimate Tropical North Queensland events for you and 3 mates. Click like, etc. And what this is Tropical North Queensland, again, has set up a sponsored story ad. They paid for this based on likers, and we both like Tropical North Queensland, and that will appear. Okay, so what we're doing is we're giving a very powerful endorsement of our product based on the people who already like our page to people who don't necessarily know about or like our page. Now, a little word of caution with sponsored stories. They're not going to be very effective unless you have quite a large liker base. So I would go for probably I wouldn't start to use them probably until you probably have maybe 1,000 fans or so, because they're not going to be all that effective, because obviously you don't have a wide enough fan base. But once your fans' numbers start getting up there, then you could consider using sponsored stories and seeing how effective they are. Yeah, so they're an ad combined with a social recommendation. And these might appear in this is Susan Maynard's Facebook page, in Susan's newsfeed. So she's friends with Rebecca online, and Startup Business Evaluator is looking for more likes on their page, so they have set up in Facebook, yes, I want a sponsored story based on friends of friends, and so this message about Rebecca King liking Startup Business Evaluator appears in Susan Maynard's feed. Susan thinks, oh gosh, Rebecca's really smart about startups, I will like that page too. So hopefully we get the idea of how powerful these can be. An advertisement is not just a corporate message, it is actually a social recommendation from people's friends, which is a very powerful thing to do. But I would go for engagement up first with your content. Try and get organic growth using really interesting content that you know is going to be of interest, so videos, photos, ask questions, tell stories, encourage people to interact, listen when people post on your page, respond, have a conversation, have as much engagement as possible. And if you're not sure where to start with there, by the way, we do have webinars just on Facebook itself, how to get started with Facebook and how to achieve engagement. So maybe go to the Digital Ready website and listen to webinars on that as well. But it's mainly having conversations with people and encouraging them to bring their friends along, as you would, you know, in normal conversation. Same thing on Facebook. And once you have achieved that kind of engagement with your content and your fan base has risen, then I would start to go for sponsored stories as well. Okay, we have time. Good. Okay, so here's one I prepared earlier. Where are we? There we are. So just to give you a bit of a demo, now there's some confidential stuff in here, so I've skipped 2 steps, so don't be surprised or worried if you suddenly don't see this page first up. You simply go to the left-hand column where it says Create Ads. So go to your own Facebook page. Down the left-hand column there will be a link underneath the lists on the left-hand column that says Create an Ad. Go there, choose whether you want to, as we said early on, promote an app, promote a page, promote your website, or promote an event. I've chosen to promote a Facebook page, which I'm assuming that most of us will be doing first up. However, yours might look a bit different if you've chosen an event, an app, or to drive traffic to a website. Okay, so I've just put up a test page here. Doesn't have any likes because I haven't seen it live yet. I like it, but that's about it. But just to give you an idea of what it looks like. So the first thing Facebook asks you is, what would you like to do? So do you want to get more page likes, just build a bigger audience, or do you want to promote a particular post? So if you have put up a page post that you want to stay there for a while or stay at the top of someone's newsfeed for a while because you want more people to see it and engage with it, then you would go for promoting a particular page post. And you can either do that here or you can just go to the post and it will give you the option to do that within your page as well. And advanced options we can look at, configure advanced creative and pricing options such as bidding for clicks. We can worry about that later on. Let's just stick with the basics now. Okay, question. How do we make a page not live? You can just unpublish it. If you want to hang on the line, Joy, afterwards I can take you through that if that's okay. I can show you how to do that, but it's just simply a matter of unpublished page in your admin. No worries. Okay. Rightio. Okay, so I'm assuming for the purposes of this one that we want to build a bigger audience for a Facebook page. So we click on Get More Page Likes, and then you can put images and make them compelling, as we've said. You can use up to 6 different images to create more ads in your campaign at no extra cost. And why would you do that? Because you can test, obviously, which is the most effective image. As I said early on, using the reports that you get from your campaign, you can see which ad's working the best. And so if you've got lots of different images and you're not quite sure which one's going to be the most compelling, you can load them all up and just see which one's working the best, and Facebook will tell you that, okay? So use this option. Don't just go with the one. Try and find 6 really good ones and upload them. Obviously use your own images too. We'll get to that later. Okay, so here's where we actually compose the ad, and this is what my headline's going to be, and I'll just put in something like my, whoops, caps lock. Like my fabulous page. Special. And now you would do this, of course, much more beautifully. I'm just typing in something so you can see it later. But this is where you would put a really compelling headline, you know, 2-for-1 offer on now, 2-for-1 offer on pieces, and your call to action, click to redeem or something. So don't forget, have a really compelling headline that stands out and have a very clear offer. Remember the pizza example that we saw, and a very compelling call to action. Book now, buy now, click to like, you know, tell them what to do. So I'll leave that to you to fiddle with when you're setting up your own ads, but don't forget to make it clear and compelling. Okay, and then this landing view, you can have the option to send people, when they click on the ad, straight to your timeline, which is the timeline of the page, or to a series of photos. So if your product is very visual and you've got beautiful images, you might want to send them there. If you just want them to go straight to your timeline, then you might want to send them there. And as you're composing this ad, I'll stick with timeline for now, it kind of appears here as a bit of a preview. So you can fiddle with it here, and as you see, you can see that it's just, yeah, see, it's just changed there. So you can kind of fiddle around with these wordings here and it will give you a rendering of how it's going to look here, which is really great because you can see how it's going to be. And this is what I was mentioning about sponsored stories. Help people discover your business through their friends. No increases in budget is required. As we said, I would go for this when you have a reasonable number of fans, not when you're just starting up because there's no one to obviously sponsor it, or not enough anyway. Okay, so I'll click it for now. Even though I only got 3 likes, I'm just for the purpose of the argument. But this is the really important bit. This is the most important part of creating your audience. So this is where you do your targeting. And you can see there's a bundle of options here that you can target very narrowly. So you can see here we've got United States, Brazil, Mexico, and Facebook has given me 316 million potential people. So let's take that out. Let's go. I'm just going to go e.g. for an audience in Australia. Okay, and you can see immediately, yes it is, thank you, 12 million people, 12,800,000 people. This is what Facebook estimates is the audience for my ad. And I've just gone for country, and then I can narrow it down to state or province, or I can even narrow it down to city. So maybe I'm just going for Brisbane, e.g. And you can see all these options come up here. So I could choose Adelaide, I could choose the Gold Coast, Canberra, Cairns. Okay, so it's not just capital cities, so maybe I'll go for Cairns. And obviously I can just limit it just to Cairns City, or I can, e.g., include cities. And you can see every time I change something here, can you see the estimate changes as well. So this is giving me information on the fly as to the size of this potential market. 90,000 people who live in Australia, who live within 10 miles of Cairns, Queensland, who are not already connected to my test page. Remember, I said up here I want to get more page likes, so obviously I'm going for people who don't like me already. Okay, so here's the summary that you can keep referring to and keep checking as you go. So what else am I doing? I don't want 13-year-olds. I might go for over 18. And obviously if you're a pub, you're probably best to go for people who are 18 and older. That's up to you. I'm going to go for women, going for a female market. And you can see immediately it's dropped down to 46,000, which is good because we want it to be quite targeted. This is still way too big. I'm going for hundreds, not thousands for this one. Now what you can do is enter an interest, and you can either select, so I'm going for women who like travel, and you can see there's a lot of options here. Business traveller, currently travelling and intending to travel, people who are intending to travel to the beach. Oh, too small, so I might have to make it a little bit bigger. Okay, 540 people who are intending to travel, 580. Okay, well, you can change this and do whatever you like. I'm just doing this for argument's sake. I'm also going to go for only people that have an iPhone. I don't know why. It seemed like a good idea at the time. And it's gone up again, so it must have... That's interesting. Okay, let's take that off for now because it's making my sample size too big. Maybe I'll just go for an iPhone 5. Still too big. Okay, so you can fiddle around with your targeting. That's probably a good number, so maybe I won't specify which mobile device either. But the other thing you can do is you can enter a keyword. So say I want women who are interested in, I don't know, diamonds, for argument's sake. And you can see the minute I start to type in diamonds, there's songs that come up about diamonds. Mahjong diamonds, marina diamonds, just diamonds in general, or the film Diamonds Are Forever. So you can see there's a lot of potential here for me to either target to someone who's interested in, even in a song, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, or Uluru Urawa Red Diamonds, or, which is obviously a page. So people who are interested in a particular page. So maybe you might want to be targeting people who are interested in your competitor's page or a complementary businesses page as well. So there's a lot of options here as well. So I'll go for diamonds, general. And it gives me a whole bunch of other likes and interests as well. Fewer than 20 people. Okay, so that's a bit small, so I might want to take that off. I hope I hope this isn't confusing people. All I'm showing you is the amount of targeting you can do, not only by location, age and gender, but precise interests, and this is where it starts to get really interesting, because the more you know, the more successful you'll be. And I specified here, obviously because I'm getting more likers, only people not connected to the test page. I could go for target people who are connected to a competitor perhaps, or not connected to, but for now I'm just going to go to this, so I won't do my head in too much. Target people whose friends are connected to my page as well, so I might want to target friends of connections. Interested in everything. Now, for argument's sake, I'm a honeymoon destination, let's just say, so I'm not interested in people who are already married necessarily. See, it's gone down again. I'm interested in people who are engaged in a relationship or single. You can specify language. This might be if you're targeting maybe an overseas market, you might be specify German or French or something. And I'm going for people who have college. No, too small, so anyone it's going to have to be. And you can even put in a workplace. So if you want to target people in a particular company, that's, you know, that's another option. What I would do if you're new to this is, unless you're really confident and kind of detail focused and know a lot about your audience, I might keep it quite broad and maybe not target any more than that, and just test with a little bit of your budget first, $10 or $20, and see how that campaign goes. And as you get more used to it and more used to the reporting and you know, more in the mindset of targeting, I would, you know, lock it down even more. But you can see here, this is still pretty targeted. 360 people who live in Australia, live within 10 miles of Cairns, age 18 and over, female, single, in a relationship age, i.e. likely to want a honeymoon, are not already connected to me, like the beach, because I'm a beach honeymoon destination. So that is already quite targeted, and if you're new to this, that's probably enough, maybe slightly too much. It's, you know, it's whatever you're comfortable with, because you can always stop, you can always change your market, stop your campaign, start another one, all that sort of thing. Yeah, and here is when you would choose your currency. So we want to pay in Australian dollars, so it doesn't get too complicated. We don't want Perth time, we want Sydney time. And you would give your campaign a name so that you know when you're testing it, you know how successful it's been. When you go back later, a year later, and think, what did I do? You just look for the name of that campaign. And you can set your daily budget at, obviously you can change this to 10 if you want to. Okay, so $10 a day, or, you know, nominate whatever you like. And you can say start today and just run it all the time, or as we saw in the slide, you can set a start date and time here. So they've just put some defaults here, but you can decide what day you want it to start and what time you'd like it to start and what day and time you'd like it to finish. And remember, this is the automatically optimise our bid to get more clicks. I'd go for that. And so you can either go for, you'll be charged every time someone sees your ad or sponsored story, or your bid will be optimised to get more likes on your page. You can optimise for clicks or optimise for impressions. You'll be charged every time someone sees your ad. So if you click this one, you get charged. Don't worry about optimising for now. I would leave that to Facebook until you're really sure what you're doing. You get charged for clicks, or you get charged for impressions, charged every time someone sees your ad. So that's the CPM, and this one is the CPC. I hope the difference between that is clear. This one you only pay if someone clicks. This one you pay every time your ad shows, and this is what you will probably get per 1,000 page impressions, cost you 16 cents. So work out if that's enough page impressions based on your $10 a day and the number of days. So if you're investing $100, it would cost you 16 cents per impression. Is that enough? Okay. And then obviously you can go review ad and see how it goes. Then in the next screen, I'll just see if it will let me. Yeah, there it is. When you click place order, that is when you don't pay then, don't worry. You would then go to a next screen. Let's just see if it'll do it. That will, you put in your credit card. Okay, so that is when you put in your credit, and you can either do credit or debit card or PayPal, whatever you're more comfortable with, and then you'll put in all your credit card details, and then you hit start campaign. Okay, so your campaign hasn't started yet, don't worry. You just put in your details, and then right at the bottom of the page there will be, actually I might be able to show you. Yep, so you just submit that, and then you would start your campaign. on the next page you would say, yes, start campaign now. So don't worry, it's not going to charge you, and you can always obviously take your campaign down as well. Another question. Is the price more expensive the more targeted your audience is? Yeah, it really, that's a very good question, Melanie, thank you. And it really varies a huge amount. And not necessarily, it's kind of hard to say whether it's going to be more or less expensive. What you can do is fiddle with different targeting options and just see the price that Facebook quotes you that you're likely to pay. Because obviously you don't have to send your ad live until you're happy with it all, and you can fiddle around with targeting options and sizes of audience and just see. Remember, I showed you Facebook estimates what you'll pay per click or what you'll pay per impression. Just see how those numbers change and see what you think is the optimal amount that you're prepared to pay per click, if that makes sense. But whether or not it's targeted, yep, doesn't necessarily change the okay, sorry. Once it's whether or not it's targeted doesn't necessarily change how much you're prepared to pay, but you can just go in for yourself and select different targeting options and see how much Facebook quotes you. Joy has something here. Thank you, Joy. I'll just read it out for everyone in case you can't see it. Once you put your payment types in for the first time too, those options don't all come up. You can go and change your method of payment under settings. So quite right. Thanks, Joy. It will remember you. Okay, so let's just cancel out of that. Okay. So that's our live example. So what I would do, just have a go, create an ad, get started. Remember, you don't have to pay until you say you want to. So I would play around with those things and just see what Facebook recommends in terms of, or what it says in terms of your audience size and what it recommends in terms of what you might pay. Okay. A little bit quickly on promoted posts. You can promote your post, as I said, either from within the Ad Composer section or from a previous post. So if you have put a post on your page and you want to give it a bit of a longer life, you can go straight to the post and put it up there. And this is the kind of report that you'll get. 40% of the 608 people who like your page saw this post, 440 people reached 40%, and that's what it costs you to promote it for $5. So you can see it's quite economical as well. 440 unique people saw this post again, so this is another promoted post, and also someone shared it organic. So these are the kind of metrics and reporting that you can get for your promoted posts as well, and you can see if it's working or not. A little bit on Facebook offers as well. This is different to an ad. For example, what you can do is put up an offer here, a special offer for people to claim on Facebook. So Enzo's on the Beach has posted an offer. Buy 5 session stand-up paddleboarding pass for only $105. That's a saving of $45. 35 people have claimed it. And of course, the real advantage to this is not so much how many bookings you get, but how many people actually saw Enzo's on the Beach and the fact that you just stand up paddleboards. Remember, we were talking about virality before. You can see that 32 people have liked this, 6 people have commented, and 2 have shared. So if those people have 100 Facebook friends each, that's the kind of reach that you can get from an offer. Make sure your offer's attractive. It's not free anymore, by the way. It costs between $30 to $60, and it might be something that I would try once you're a bit more au fait with Facebook if you're a bit of a beginner. It needs to be an attractive offer, and basically what it is, it's an incentive for people to get in touch with you. So what happens if you're not familiar with them is people claim the offer, they would then get emailed a voucher, and they would then have to get in touch with you to redeem the offer. So don't be scared if you get like 60,000 people claiming. Obviously, the people that claim then have to come to you and make the booking, or action the offer, whatever you specify. So the real value is getting people to contact you, because then you've got their email address, you're having a conversation with them, and you might be able to keep them as well as get them to buy one off. The thing with offers is you can set everything about the offer. So you can set what the offer is, you can set how many you're going to make available, you can set if it's got a blackout period or a time and date, you can set how people need to claim the offer. So all those things you can set up when you're setting the offer, and I'd be very careful about that, because what you don't want is to leave it wide open and obviously not be able to redeem the number of people that claim it. So if you only have, e.g. 100 rooms, and you haven't set a limited number of rooms, or you haven't set a limited time, and 200 people claim the offer, you're going to be in trouble. So look very carefully at what you set in terms of conditions, how many offers, time and date, blackout periods, how they need to get in touch with you to claim it, etc. But it's very good for targeting a niche group, for network effects, for getting seen, and for getting people to contact you. So do consider that if you're experienced with Facebook. The other one to think about is the Power Editor. Again, if you're a bit au fait with Facebook. Now what this does, if you have a database, you can upload it using the Power Editor, and Facebook will then go and try and match the emails, the addresses, the phone number, or the Facebook IDs that are in your database with people's pages, and will show the ad to them, which, as you can imagine, is really, really a great way of getting to an audience you would never normally get to. If people on your database don't necessarily like you on Facebook, you can reach them this way. There's no personal information divulged, so it's all within privacy laws and everything. It's simply Facebook matching your database to the pages they have on their database and showing your ads in those pages. So that can be quite a useful thing as well. Another question as we go. With the offers, can you set the state they're valid for? If I want to make an offer only available to people in Victoria, can I do that? If you can't do it when you're setting up the offer, you can certainly do it in your terms. Okay, and you can just make that a term of the offer. It's up to you what you put in the offer, and that can be one of the conditions that you make, if you like. So you can just say only available to people in Victoria. Yep. And just before we finish, thanks for staying with me, everyone. Pages, just to make you aware, there is a manager app for smartphones now, so if you're on the go, you can manage your page. It helps Facebook page admins, so if you're page admin, connect with the audience and keep up with activity on multiple pages. So if you're busy or you're out on the boat or whatever, you can post new updates and photos, respond to comments as your pages, so you can post as, you know, your page name if it's your business name. You can view and reply to private messages, which is great for customer service. They don't have to wait until you're back at your desk. You can get notifications about new activity on pages right away, which is really great for engagement, because obviously responding quickly will help with engagement and help with the conversation rather than letting it sit there for a day or two. And you can obviously view your latest pages insights too. So if you do have a campaign in market, or a traffic driving campaign, or a liking campaign or something, and you're busy and you can't stay at your desk, then you can have a look at that on your phone as you're out and about and see how your campaign's going, which is very useful. Just before we finish, this is our standard screen about copyright. Remember, with images and things, I mentioned earlier, use your own images. Don't forget not to use Google for images. Use your own that you own. If you don't own it or have permission to use it, then it's best not to use it because it's against the law. If you didn't know that, then unfortunately that's no defence in a court of law. Or you can buy images from iStock, Shutterstock, Getty Images, one of those stock image or media sites that have licensing. You can just buy a subscription there and use their images if you want to. But it's really important to make sure that you own the copyright in any images that you're using for Facebook or indeed for anything else online. Okay, so all the things I've talked about here are in the resources slide, the Facebook page guidelines, Facebook ads getting started guide, and there's a user guide for ads creation tool and Facebook for business. So Facebook does have a lot of very useful help information. If you're stuck, have a look here. It's got screenshots and it will, tell you exactly what to do in easy steps. As well as all the Facebook resources at Digital Ready at Tourism and Events Queensland, we have a lot of resources for small business that are free and accessible online. We have the Tourism e-kit, we have the Big Marketing Guide, we have the TQ Resource Centre and the Better Business Guide, and these are all on the Tourism Queensland tq.com.au website. So go here, click on resources and make yourself avail yourself of all these wonderful resources that we have to help you in your businesses and in your marketing. The Digital Ready program also has workshops, mentoring. I'm here every Tuesday to coach you with a specific question, and Susan and Mirko are sometimes here as well if they're not in region. So feel free to give us a ring or send us an email, and obviously we have the webinars that you just attended today. So this is all free. It's all for you guys to help you in your digital stuff. Really happy to help. So please feel free to get in touch with us at any time. Workshops and mentoring, obviously, you book through your specialist, your destination specialist, so have a chat to them if you'd like to see that in your region. That's it for today. Thanks for staying with me, guys. I'm Jane. This is Nico and Susan. I'm invisible, apparently. Do feel free. Here are the contact numbers for us, 35355800 to give us a ring, or digitalcoach@tq.com.au, or our Digital Ready website, where all our webinar recordings are, and this one will be in due course too. Thank you for staying with me today, everyone. It was a bit of a data dump today. I hope you found it useful. I still have some questions I can see coming up, so if you would like to stay on the line, I'll get to them now and answer them if I can. If not, if you have to go, of course, thanks again for staying, and hopefully we'll see you at another webinar soon. Thanks, everyone. See you later. You're welcome, Julia. You're welcome, Kerry. Any other questions, anyone? Feel free to ask them now, or you can always email us later if you think of something. Okay, no more questions. Well, thanks, everyone.